Hey everybody, Stay 1981. So today I got a package that came in, and this is going to be probably going to take several, maybe if not a couple more videos to get out, because it's going to take some playing around with. But I've got something. Well, before I go and do it, I want to show you guys what I got in front of me here. Let me just take a look real quick so you can see what I've got going on. So I got epox in a protective, it's like a protective like a bag, so that when it's delivered it doesn't show what it is. So right at this moment, when I placed this order, it's like a back to school item, and I learned of this through this particular item. I learned of it through watching Andy and AJ at 128 kilobit. So it'll explain itself here in a sec. Let me get this open. But many of unboxing of this has taken place. It's something I picked up to do things with my current handheld, and I'm trying to see, like, came a long way. This came overseas. Alright, try to get this thing. It has a sleeve on it. I'm trying to get the sleeve out. Okay. The sleeve. Okay. So the sleeve is pretty much gone at the moment. Okay. So let me get you back over here so you can see what I'm doing. So I had to de-sleeve this. So that was a protective sleeve I'd just taken off, which was the white. It has a merchant sticker, and that's pretty much it. Now this is an item that can be highly damaged. To get what I'm showing you guys, I opted to get it protected. So I'm going to tell you what this is at this point. If you haven't read the description, it's a Uperfect monitor. It's going to be a, I want to say it's the 16 inch, because it's not the 14. I wanted the 14. I might get it later, but as of right now, getting it out of the box, I ordered it directly from Uperfect. So here is the liner. Liner empty. The box. Don't know what's coming up, but you get the idea. Should, when I go to post this, it should come up as a unit to it has a holographic tamper seal. Like I said, I got this on their main site as a back to school promotion. I think they might still be doing it. I don't know. Just before the kids were going back to school in our region. So kids are going back to school around the August period. So I got this towards, I think, the first week, I think, of August. AJ and Andy had done a review of this very screen. I think it was more Andy. I think AJ was like doing like commentary about it on certain points, but I know it was Andy. He did an actual really good in-depth review of this. I'm not set up yet on my GPU to take advantage of this thing yet, so I'm not able to do it just yet. Planning on it. So this is going to take a little time to get used to everything, and I want to go from there with it. So right now, where I sit with it is I'm going to get the little holographic little merchant sticker, little holographic thingies up. Now, the reason why I went and chose to do the screen this way, and I went through Uperfect directly, you can opt and go through Amazon, and Amazon actually has an affiliate through Uperfect, so you could probably go that way, but you got to know the exact one that you want and the exact version that you're looking for. You can go through Amazon too, but I noticed that, I know like if you go to eBay, not to knock certain people or any person trying to get these sold out through eBay, but I noticed a lot of them could be, not saying they all are, I noticed a lot of damaged or possible of high rate of damage, and that could be from what they were getting them from on the shipments. This came airmailed to me from China directly, and I didn't have to fool with that. So if you go through Uperfect, so let me explain how that works. So you go through Uperfect on their main site. If you try to Google search Uperfect, it will come up as in your region, it'll come up as an American sent delivery. It's basically a drop shipper. They have a go-between person here in the United States that takes care of all that. So you don't have to pick up the difference. You don't have to pick up the tariffs. You don't have to pick up the customs, but you're allowing them as Uperfect to handle all that. So as long as you allow Uperfect to take care of it their own way, you don't have to pay all that other flim flam. But I will tell you, you will see China movement come in and out of your profile if you use like Shop, and you use it through Shop. It'll be the same thing. That's what I did. I went through Shop to get it. I went through the Shop, protected myself, took it through PayPal, and I took it through the variations to get it so it's safe. And I made sure I put the additional protection on it. I think it was like $8.67 or something, and it was just to make sure it came in a molded foam unit. So the unit comes in a molded foam. It comes in the box. I don't know if it would come this way exactly if you buy it outside of the protection. So I got the lid off. This is very similar to like how my electronics come through like the shoe box idea. So you got let's take a look here. So we got I call it like the shoe box lid. It's a very, very like overbuilt, very, very, very well constructed box. It's like a very heavy like novelty box inside. Outside of it being a cardboard heavy cardboard box, I would almost imagine to say if you do not buy it with this protection, the protection is probably going to be the over screen or the over bag that I had to take away from it so they can't see what is in it, and then this. And I believe if you don't buy the protection, you're going to get just this box the way it comes, and it will come wrapped in another bag to protect at least the way it comes from there. Because this is basically, I think, the way the screen's going to come in the white box. So I opted to get it in the cardboard just in case. I think it comes with that, and then it has that wrap over it in the bag. So I get protection in case it takes a little bit of a bump. But that's just, walking you through that real quick. So protection is what I paid extra for that. And then it has a foam liner, basically a tablet screen. So you get the 16-inch tablet screen. Let's just flip this around this way so you guys can kind of get an idea. So this is all you're going to get too. You're going to get the bags. The bags are labeled. Not sure if that's showing up or not. It says Smart Digital Life. Now, just so we're clear, you'll want to use the wire that you're going to use to power it with that for the power supply. So this is going to be, well, let's just go through each one. Digital Life, and this is going to be the C to C, it looks like. I think that's C to C. Type C to Type C. Yeah, it's Type C to Type C. This will be your Thunderbolt 4. It's got the USB 4 on it, so that's Thunderbolt 4. This is the one I'm going to be using. You have a Type C. It's in a blue. That was in a green one. This one here is in a blue. This one's Type C. Smart Digital Life. And another Type C to C. Looks like it's another Type C. So you get two Type Cs. I don't know if one's Thunderbolt 4 and one's not. One's green, one's blue. I'm looking to make sure I'm telling you right. I'm looking to see if like one is like... One's going to be Thunderbolt and one's going to be, or USB 4, another one's going to be plain. So you'll want to use the Thunderbolt 4 or the USB 4 for this, for the screen, for the Type C. If you're planning on using it for a performance device like a handheld of any kind. This is your other cable. This will be the micro. Yeah, this is HDMI to, I believe. Yeah, micro. It's a, I think it's a micro MSD, or not MSD. It's HDMI. It's a mic. I think it's a micro or mini HDMI to a full size HDMI. This is what you use for, like, if you're gonna plug your screen directly into, like, say, a graphics card, or you want to do something like that. If you're going to use it for a handheld specifically, you're going to want to use the, you're going to want to, because that will slow down latency if you got it going through HDMI to micro. They give you that if you're going to use it outside of a handheld. Like, you want to use this guy right here. I'm going to put you guys back so I can talk to you guys. But this is this right here is an HDMI to, I think it's a mini or micro HDMI. I think it's mini HDMI. The screen will have this on the one side, the mini, and then you plug your HDMI to your whatever you're going to hook it to. So, like, say a graphics card or whatever you can hook it to that has an HDMI, you'll locate that, and that will bring a signal to the screen of the in this case, the Uperfect I'm going to hook it to. So we're going to get through that here in just a second. I got the sleeve I got to get through. There is a power supply that comes with this, and it looks like I get 4 little bags of screws. I'm not sure what's up with the screws part. This is not self-driven, so you do not want to plug this in directly just with a wire and call it good. You still need to supply this screen with the power supply it recommends, and it recommends this little guy right here. It's a little power block. It's a distribution block, just like what you have for your handheld. You got to have to treat this like a handheld for your for this little monitor screen. I keep wanting to call it a TV, but it's basically what it is. But it's an OLED screen. I'm not going to put power to this. I don't think today. It's a little bit to go through. I'm going to have to probably take some time to look this over. But the box, the blister, and see, it's a power supply brick. Kind of like what you'd have on your cell phones, like your Samsungs or anything else. I don't know if it's power. I don't know if it's power demanded. It probably is. They say anything power demand is going to have a Type C in the end of it, so it's probably a power. It's a power demand. It's probably a power demand, so it gives it all the amount of power it can get to it to the screen. But you need to use this power brick and that sole purposed HDMI, or not HDMI, but the Type C to Type C. We need to locate which one that needs to be ran, and you need to run that wire to this, and booting that to power to the screen at all times. So you need to supply a power supply from the power to this to the screen to make that operate efficiently. Because if you don't do that, you could get it to work, but I heard about the lines, and you get lines in the screen, and you also could risk possible damage if it goes too much. So it's always getting proper amount of wattage and amperage running this. It keeps it balanced. So this little block here does more than just supply power. It keeps it level. It keeps it balanced. It keeps it from spiking. It keeps a lot of things in check when running that. So very important that you run that. A printout. It looks like it was printed out on a piece of paper, showing you the directions. I'll let you pause that anytime you like. And your layouts. So we've got like battery, the power supply, it's telling you that. So I'm going to read you through everything. I'm going to put you guys down here. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to do everybody, I think, some justice here. I'm going to elect to go a step further. And I want to try to put a little more light in everyone's life today. I want to see what looks better. This one, I guess it looks okay. I don't know. We'll see what looks better. That one, same. One's a little brighter, one's a little softer. It doesn't matter. This spot come up a little better this time. I was trying not to get the glare in the background. So you get this, and I'm going to read off everything. I'm going to show you guys one more time what I'm seeing here. Bring this up. So you got all the layouts and how to hook it up. The screen. We got all the stuff right here talking about it. Have all that stuff right there. I want to get to this part. So, and for this, I'm going to have to put some power to it. Like I said, I'm just getting it like opened up, looked at, making sure there's like not any like real issue here. So it comes into like a little bag. I'm opening it up. Now, this is going to come like a tablet. So if you buy one of these and you get it, and what this is going to basically run as is you have a tablet, a full-on tablet, and some people wanted to keep that little sleeve. I'm good. I went ahead and opened it up. So you have this like padfolio, as they call it, and it's magnetic. Screen. Let's see how this works. Because screen. You line it up onto the padfolio. It's magnetic. Okay, so basically how this works is the screen is operated or magnetically driven on the padfolio. So it's a magnetic operation. So putting it all together here, you have a metal aluminum screen. It's 16-inch. You got the buttons right here, and of course you have a metal lip. And like I said, Andy and AJ, they covered this. I'm gonna put their the handle down in the bottom, but they already did this, and that's where I learned of this screen. It was from 128 kilobit. I learned of it. It's just a magnetic front to back. It has magnetic little plates. And what this thing does is it's magnetic. If you see these little lines through here, those are magnetic accents inside of a membrane or this pad folio, and it just sticks to the screen. It allows it to magnetically bond. It has an overlay plastic film. It's a plastic little film. See? So it has a plastic film, and that's pretty much that. I'm going to try to see if I can turn it on for just a second to see if it'll actually take a little something. You fold it backwards, and then I guess you fold it out like this. I guess you fold it out. I guess you fold it out like that. I guess you lay it like this. So the lip comes up like this to cover it, and then the cover also acts as it just lays on the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's just see what it looks. I want to see if I can get it to power on for a second, just to see like what it might look like. To boot it, if it's got any. Probably not good to do this because I usually like to put power to something and charge it before I do anything. But let's just look at it and just see like, hey, what does it look like? Like hey, this is what this thing looks like after you get it. Okay, I'm looking at this. I'm looking it over to make sure everything looks good. Okay. Just checking it out one more time. I gotta line it up on the folio here. That little pad. It does seem pretty nice. Keeps it well protected for the most part. You just got to be very, very smart about it. But you lay it on a flat surface, and then it's pretty much good to go. See, now you see it. So, and then you can adjust this. Picking this up, you can adjust it accordingly to the lid or to the ridges. You got, I think, one or two. Yeah, you got one or two ridge points. Yeah, you wouldn't want to put it there. So you got one or two. You got a ridge here, and you have one last ridge you can put it on if you really. This is right here if you want to put like a keyboard. That's what that would probably be. But it works. And it's a rubber. It's on one end. This is very textured. Bumped you. This has got like little knobs, or like it's gripped. It's grippy. Let me keep you guys right there. I'm gonna put you guys back. Okay. Let me see if I can get some power to this, and I can look at this together. You got little pins. And it may not have any juice in it, so I don't know. Pushing and holding every button. Because I didn't look at the instructions yet. I should have probably done that, but it's okay. It's usually either the top one or the bottom one for the power, but I'm just pushing them until I get something to happen. Nope. And it might not have any juice in it. You gotta remember, this is also a self-power driven item, so you might have to have power in it. It might have some power in it, I don't know, but I'm pushing every button and it's not lighting up. So that tells me, because it's not self-driven, it may not have anything in it. It's not, you gotta have to put power to it. So anyway, I'm just gonna walk you through. There's all the buttons. These are like little buttons right here. They're like little pin buttons. They're exposed buttons. It's kind of nice. So if you hook this up the way I'm choosing to do it, you got the one bottom port, and that's the one that everybody likes to hook to their device. So that one goes to the device. So your handheld, whatever, that's micro, not micro, that's HDMI, that's not HDMI, it's a USB-C. I'm going by feel because like it's right here where I can see it. So it's that's USB-C to like a 4 equivalent. You'd want to put this right here. You want to put this, plugging that in, out to say your handheld or anything like that. That's your direct line. The second one above that is the next USB-C. That one would be your power. That one would be the one that you're going to want to hook to your power. And then you've got the micro or mini, either a micro or a mini HDMI. And that one is if you're going to hook it up just to branch it, say, off of another TV, or you want to branch it off of just something that has an HDMI port already on it just to supply it power. You still want to supply that power supply little brick I showed you. You want to still supply that and have it individually powering its own power and not accepting it off of something else. It has its own independent power for a reason, and it's OLED. So this is happens to be the OLED 16-inch. I don't have a whole lot more to say on it until I have power to it. Let me get you pause and see if we can get something to happen with this. So let me pause. Okay. All right. So after further looking at this, so I kind of told you a rough idea of the device. So the screen does have 2 ports. They don't really tell you which one is which. They show it for just having one USB-C. This has twins. I think they both can work the same way, but I have to go on their site to look at it. But this is what I found out. So if you look on the plugs, this one here, if you look on this port or on this, so let me show you where it'll show it. If you look, I don't know if that's going to show up. Very, very tiny, but it says for power only. So the blue one is for your power. That's why they label them differently over the color code. Blue and these go together. So this supplies your power. That's a given. Here's how I handle that. So you'd plug the Type-C on one to this because it has a Type-C on the end of this box. You're going to want to plug your wire that goes to that in it and leave it alone. And just unplug out of here when you're going to take it and bundle it together and leave that as a separate or a together solution so you don't get it mixed up, because it's for power only. Now it does say on the actual the wire tip on the back of the tip of the USB-C, it does say power only for the blue one. So that one works with these 2 things. So those 2 things, those go together. These 2 things, even though they look the same, this one here is going to be probably your Thunderbolt 4 or equivalent. So this one is what's going to power, and it even has I want to say it says 4K or HC. I'm looking at this through the bag. Okay, it says 4K. This has a 4K through the coated bag, and it probably has on this little warning, little hanger up here for your devices. So these are device sensitive. So devices only. So like a graphics card, another screen, another TV, you could plug this through there and run your HDMI to your other TV to supply power to it, or not power, but to get an image. You can get power through this linking it to something else, which is kind of like a daisy chain or like tether power kind of thing. Here's the problem with that. You'll get a lot of backfeeding or a possibility of it, and you also risk the possibility of the screen getting damaged for a spiking or an issue or a glitch. That's why they recommend, if you're going to go HDMI, fine, but still supply that power supply. So the power supply is this guy again and this guy into the USB port. I don't think the ports are the same. I think one is going to be for your device, or if you can use that for your device first, and the other one is going to be for the for your powering. I think the upper one's for the power and the lower one is for your device. That's where I've seen on many a channel using the screen that I have, this very one right here, the same way. They use the lower one of the two coming off of, if you go from where the mini HDMI is going down, they use the power as the upper one and the supply to supply a connection, the high one for your devices, or the 4K USB usually goes on the bottom. I'm going to verify that later and see what I can find of that. I'm really sorry I can't power it up at the moment because I'm not where I can hook it up easily at the moment. So try to show another video and another maybe probably one day in the week and see if I can. I got some more reading I need to do, checking out everything, but just so we're clear and so you can see for yourself, these instructions do not show two USB Type-Cs to the display or to the diagram. It shows one USB-C and an HDMI being hooked to it if you want, showing just one of each, not a second USB-C. So, but the way I've seen it hooked up on all the channels on YouTube and social media in general is the bottom one at the very, very bottom, they bring that out to hook to their device. The upper one is supplying the power. Going out to that supply little outlet box. But that's the one that I would choose to probably go with. That's the one I would probably go through, and like I said, I'm going to try to look it up later to see what I can figure out, if I'm doing something right or wrong. I'm not sure. That's kind of where I am with it. Yeah, so I have some more reading to do. I can't power it up yet till I do some reading, research, making sure I am telling you guys the right way. I don't want to do it the wrong way and then risk it. So one thing at a time. I still have to hook all this and then get it good, get it geared, and gear it up the way I want to where it'll run. And then once I get it running, I'm going to try to see about playing with some software with it through the graphics card and get the GPU going. So hopefully, it's like I said, I wanted to have its own little supply so I can use it with the eGPU. I also have to take this and use it for a work solution. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. So I use it for work. I use it for data analysis, where I commonly, I do some stuff here and there, dabble with it for data analysis, and I also use it for eventually for the eGPU at some, when I get to at that point, which is coming very closely. So see how it goes, figure it out. But recapping one more time, the blue goes to the power and that power brick, and the green two bags are for your picture and for the screen. So that would be for like your handheld and all your devices and things like that. That's what you use the green for. The two green bags. One's going to be the micro, or no, it's the mini HDMI. It's a mini HDMI, and then it's a full size HDMI on the other side. And then the other wire they give you is a USB-C to USB-C, but it's a different grade to that versus the power only one. Why they offer that way? It's a different grade of wire. So they're probably saving a few bucks maybe, or there's a reason why they wanted you to use that other wire, but you need to use the other wire. It says for power only. I would listen to that. So, but it does warn you. Uperfect puts it in a lot of warnings on their site, and I'm going to speak of it one more time so everybody's clear. You need to power this screen or this tablet self-driven power. Don't rely on something to give it power. You will damage it. If you don't have any power to supply power to it, purposely on its own individually, like giving it its own power, then don't do it because you could risk the screen. I'm making that very clear. Just make sure you self-power it on its own power. If you don't have that, then don't rely on something else to supply power to it, because you either get one of several things: interference, lines, or those two things, or adding damage to it. And once you damage it, it's done. It's a very high demanding power tablet. That's basically you're using it as a screen, but it's a high demand power device, adding to what you're using it on. And when you use anything high demand or power demand, this is basically an oversized, almost like treating it like a cell phone, because my cell phone has the same kind of power supply. It has a little brick, it has a USB-C tip port on the other side of it, and you're hooking what you want to hook to it. You're treating this like an oversized cell phone at this point. And if you don't have its own power to it, you're risking damage. That's all I can really tell you about that. As far as everything else, I don't see, they don't label nothing like on the actual frame, so I could just like tell you real quick like what each one is. They don't do that. So I'm going to take it upon myself to look online again to make sure I'm doing that right. But like I said, you're going to have a power for one and a device port for the other. I think most people that are using the device port use that lower one. The very one on the very bottom towards the ground of the screen, lowest one on those three. You're going to have the upper HD, the micro or the mini HDMI up top, which is gold. And you're going to have two Type C's at the bottom. And the bottom lowest one is the one I think everybody's putting their peripheral to. They put their handheld peripheral to that. Now, it may not matter. It may matter. I'm going to see what they devised to that. I have to read the printout more in depth. RFM. I'm not going to explain that acronym, but read and the colorful word for the F, manual. So I just kind of filled it in for you, but that's what I'm going to do so I don't be a statistic or risk damaging pixels. I also have to test to make sure that the pixels aren't already damaged, to make sure if it's working good. I don't have to really go through the trouble of sending this back because I really don't want to. But if I have to, just so I keep everybody in a heads up about this, Uperfect has a very good track record if you buy through them and you make a purchase, whether it's on their site or you do it through, I think, Amazon, because they're going through Uperfect, and they're they don't necessarily collab, but they're actually I think it's called dealer. It's a way they do a dealer. So they work through that company to do that. I know if you go through Uperfect directly, they do back their own your own purchases that you've made through Uperfect through warranty or what they call replacement. It already has its own replacement built in it. So if you have an issue, you got pixels burned out, and they will want you to send it back to them, all you gotta do is call the number and they will tell you what you need to do. So and I've heard many a good track record of Uperfect. So I can't speak of how well that is. I'm just going by what others have said and spoke of in the past about them. But it's a very good, well-established brand that is a generic for, I think, computer source and computer devices alike. It's a very unique name that I've never seen or heard of until I got onto 128 kilobit, and I happened to just been looking around, saw the review that Andy and AJ did on that. Mainly Andy, because I think he did most of the review on it. I know AJ, I think he does a lot of the background stuff. He does all the editing. I think he does a lot of the editing for that. But they both work together. But I know Andy covered it like in depth, like a lot of what that screen is. So if you don't I don't have the ability to show it at this moment, but until I get it powered on. So I'm gonna leave you guys at that. But it's a very good, attractive looking screen once you get it powered up. The darks are darks, the colors are are rich, but I have to see for myself just how good or where we are with this, because I have to put power to it. I need to do some stuff. I got to do some more reading. I got to make sure I get the ports right. I'm putting it in the right ports. I just studied it. Just that little bit of studying showed me that, well, like I said, these two green ones, these two green bags right here, they're already going for your devices, and the blue, again, the blue one is for your power only, and they do have it in small print, power only, for power. I think it's for power source only. So one last time, screen, if you look really carefully, gold, HDMI, micro or mini, USB-C, USB-C. They don't label anything, so I have to do my research to make sure they're either both the same or not. You have a speaker hole, and you got your five push button switches. So I would imagine that either the uppermost one or the lowermost one is going to be your power. I just don't have the ability to know which one it is yet, because I can't put power to it, because I'm not where power can be supplied to it. And you don't want to put extensions on this stuff either. You want to use one solution of power or wire to do the supplying. You don't want to rely on extensions and all that kind of stuff. You get into that, you get into other problems. So just play safe, do your research, which I'm about to do. Look around, check out the site if you have any questions. Like I said, it's a Uperfect screen, and I'll catch you guys real soon. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys soon. I will be probably showing another one soon of the screen, and hopefully, if everything goes well, I like to get that eGPU up and going real soon. I've booted it a couple of times outside of my handheld. I've done a couple other up and coming things with it. Haven't posted anything about it because I want to get familiarized with it enough before I bring it to you guys. So I'm just it's a kind of like a work in progress kind of thing, but it's one step closer. So hope you guys liked it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like I said, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll like I said, one step at a time here. You guys have a good one, and I'll catch you later.